I'm outside working on watering our farm, and I'm realizing I have a ton of work to do because at this point it's 6 weeks until our first farmers market. This is our official 6-week countdown to our first time experience farming. We bought this property with the whole intention of starting a small scale market garden. So that means growing veggies of some sort to actually sell and try to, in the long run, make a profit. And we've been planning and getting ready all winter, and this is it. This is crunch time. This is when we either make it or break it. 6 weeks is still quite far off, but it is close in terms of getting ready. And so over the next 6 weeks, I am going to do a weekly countdown of what we've been up to, what we're failing at, what I feel we're succeeding at, and where we go and how we get there for finally doing our first time farming market. At this point, spring has definitely sprung. The trees are letting us know that it's go time. It's time to get planting. It's time to get growing. For about the last 6 to 8 weeks, we've been really busy getting ready to get to this point. We've been doing some infrastructure work. We've been getting some seedlings that needed to get planted early, ready, getting them going, and we've kind of lost track. We're a little bit behind at this point. One of the very first jobs we did was we built this greenhouse. We got this greenhouse ready. And this was really important because it meant that we were able to do the seedlings. The seedlings not only that we're gonna need for our farm, but also the seedlings that we're growing to be able to do seedling sales starting next week. In here, we got a lot going on. There's a lot of plants going. A lot of this stuff is ready to go. It's time to put it into the garden now, and it's ready to go now. We just need to find the time to get it in. The good thing though about the seedlings is I did them with enough space. They can hold off for a little bit of time. You know, even though they're ready now, you know, I can keep them in their seedling trays for another like 5 to 7 days, and they're still gonna keep growing. So that means that I'm not actually losing too much time on the back end, just even though I don't have time to get to them right now. One of the biggest parts of my farm plan is doing lettuce mix. I want to make sure that I'm really good and consistent at producing lettuce mix. And so for that reason, I got my Salanova. These ones are ready to go. I just need to get them in. And I've also started, I've seeded my next round, my next batch. And I'm going to be every week seeding more lettuce to have a nice succession. I also have some Swiss chard, which is starting to look really nice, but the majority of what is in the greenhouse right now is seedlings that I've started for doing seedling sales. One of the biggest reasons that I am so far behind on the farm is that I didn't think about it when I planted 1,800 tomatoes, and I have spent at this point about 120 hours potting up every single one of my tomatoes that I started. It is a job that I wasn't thinking about when I committed to doing it. And so now I'm just drowning in tomato seedlings. They take up a huge amount of space, and yeah, it's just crazy the amount of time. I even got Ian right here doing some prep work on it for me right now, because literally day and night, one of us has been doing this for the last 2 weeks, but they look pretty good. It's pretty nice to have this many tomatoes.
The paper pots are a 3-step process. First, Serina rolls them, and we bring them out in boxes because she rolls them as we watch TV at night, if we do that, or while I clean the kitchen, she sits there and rolls pots. And then the next step is to get them with a bit of dirt in the base So when you do that, then you kind of pack it into the corners so that they hold their shape. And then the last step is what Serina's doing over there, which is you put the actual start in there and then, you know, fill it in with dirt and finish it off. And then once they sit in the trays, you know, as the paper kind of disintegrates over time, the tomatoes themselves with their roots start to take over more of the structure. So as the plant gets bigger, then, you know, the structure starts to take over. And they just kind of sit in the trays until, oh, I screwed that one up. It's like the first time I've done that in like thousands of these. They sit in the trays until they're sold, or we plant them or whatever, and then they just have to like go and then just make it to the ground, and then you can just put them right in the ground. And then at that point in time, the paper's gonna disintegrate super easy and the roots will grow right through it anywhere that it's left. And you know, no transplant shock, right?
The main reason that we are doing this is one of our big priorities on, like, in general, but also for farming and starting this up, is we want to try to limit our plastic waste if we can. Obviously, we have bought a crazy amount of plastic. We've bought more plastic this spring than I feel like we normally buy in a year just getting ready to do all this farming. It's crazy how much of this infrastructure is plastic. But at least with the plastic on farm, it's gonna get reused. We're gonna get as much life out of it as we can. But these we're doing to sell as seedlings, and so we don't want to be sending a ton of plastic waste off farm, you know, to then become plastic garbage. So this is kind of our way of doing something that aligns with our morals, you know, even though it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. I can definitely think of ways that I would have rather spent, you know.
Yeah, we're not saying we're going to do this again. One of the big infrastructure projects that needs to get done that I'm starting to worry a little bit about timelines, because, you know, 6 weeks isn't very long, is in this corner right here, we're going to be building a walk-in cooler. And as you can see, we haven't done any of that yet. So that is next week's project, I think. This location right kind of here where this truck is also where we're going to be building a washing station. And we're going to build a little kind of lean-to structure just to make some shade so it's not out in the sun. But we need to put all of that together as well. That is another kind of, you know, 2-week project that, you know, in 6 weeks, it's feeling very close and not very much time. But one thing that also felt that way and actually came together really quickly was the farm. Because 4 weeks ago, I think, none of this existed. All of this here was just more of our field. We came in here, we tilled it all up, and yeah, it's problematic, but it's coming together. And, you know, like, building a farm is a huge thing. And so the fact that we've started to actually put that together, and, you know, like, I can start to see green in it, that does feel like a success. That feels like something's really gotten done.
At this point, we have 10 beds completely prepped, and our farm is only going to be 20 beds, but the other half we still need to do some work on.
We got a soil test done. We've been doing amendments according to the soil test. So that's part of the work. We're top dressing all of this with compost. We're doing like multiple tills on it just kind of to get it reset. But one of the biggest hassles is the fact that this entire section, we've realized after we tilled it all up, it's pure couch grass. It's just nasty. So what we've been doing to actually prep is we take this screen and we've been literally sifting the soil. We sift it out, and then in the end we're left with pebbles and couch grass, rhizomes, It is a crazy job to literally be sifting 4,000 square feet of dirt, but it's, you know, it takes a couple hours to do a bed, but we figure that in the long run, it'll save us, you know, more than a couple hours of weeding. It's a fast and easy way to pull out that stuff that is gonna grow. But this, you know, it's gonna be a couple years until it's where we want it to be. I'm 100% sure that there's gonna be many stories of me just pulling my hair out, trying to figure out how to deal with this grass all summer. But, you know, my hope is, if not next year, then the year after that, I'll have it, you know, under control in a manageable situation.
This might give you an idea of what we're dealing with. You can just see the grass everywhere. And this is a section that got tilled a couple weeks ago, and it just hasn't been sifted out yet. It's just, there's so much. It's going to be relentless.
I've ordered some landscape fabric to come in to be able to, you know, help with the weeding a bit. Some of my crops, like the lettuce, they're actually going to be done by transplant. I'm also going to have a bed of summer squash, you know, like zucchini, patty pans type thing. So those, you know, those beds I can put landscape fabric down and just plant into holes, and that'll save me a little bit of effort. But you know, that's that's another thing on the list. Stuff I need to do in the next 6 weeks. So this garden here, not this week, but next week, this is on the to-do list. This all needs to get prepped, and I'm gonna be putting in a flower bed in there. We're hoping to be able to produce some cut flowers for the market, and it's going there. So I haven't done that yet. I haven't made a video in forever, and the truth is, we're just so behind. We took way more onto our plate than we probably should have. We felt like our schedule was going to be so open with our first market being into June. You know, that felt so far into the season that we thought we could do a lot more than we could. So at this point, we've been out here morning and night just working away, just banging off all the projects. And there are things that are slipping. There's things that need to get done that just aren't gonna get done. There's things that we hoped to achieve for a first market that just aren't gonna happen. There's stuff that we wanted to do this year that just isn't gonna happen this year. But the one thing I can't say is that I feel bad about spending the day out here. It's pretty wonderful just to be in the space, to be working on this, to be growing food, you know, like just the number of seeds that I'm putting into the ground with, you know, all my experience as a gardener, knowing what that's gonna mean when I actually go and take it out, the volume of food that we're gonna be able to produce this year. It's very invigorating. And, you know, we took on this project because we want to be busy. We took on this project because we want to be out here having something to do at all times. And even though I don't like the feeling of being behind on schedule, the goal was, in buying a farm and in starting a market garden, the goal was to always have more to do than we can do. So technically we're achieving those goals right now. It's feeling chaotic and it's feeling unorganized, and my real hope was that I would be organized this year. I did a lot of work to try to be better organized for coming into the season, and it's slipping, but I still have faith that it's going to come together. I still think over the course of these next 6 weeks, the amount that we're going to be able to do is is going to be impressive because, you know, over the past 6 weeks, the amount we've been able to do has been impressive. As I finish up with the tomatoes and, you know, the farm starts to get a little bit more in order with a lot of those infrastructure projects ticked off the list, yeah, we're gonna have more time. We're gonna have more leisure to enjoy the fruits of our effort. And I can't wait to show you guys. I can't wait to give you guys all a tour of just how much has changed here. It's amazing for me to look back at some of the pictures that I took just a couple weeks ago and really see all the new things that have happened here, and I love sharing it with you guys too. So if this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe, not only to hear me complain about how bad of a farmer I am, but also to see all the fun things that we've been up to and will be up to in the future. I'll see you guys next time.